One of the comfort challenges I had for Assertive Skills Workshop is called Finding Yoda. It is a networking challenge that I borrowed from a book called 4 Hour Work Week, written by entrepreneur Tim Ferriss. In this challenge, you have to find ways to somehow get in touch with and talk with successful people you admire, however you want to define successful, and to ask them about strategies, knowledge, or insights which led them to the success they have in their field. I will make another video specifically for this topic in which I will share more in detail about my experience interviewing a bunch of really interesting people across industries while completing this challenge. But today I would like to share an experience I had while completing this challenge in which I learned to overcome my fear of rejection and to ask for help. Not long after I took on this challenge, I finished my contract with my first job out of college. It was a pretty dark period for me. I did not have another job lining up, and what was worse, I felt pretty lost. I realized I didn't know where my passion lay. I didn't know what exactly are my talents that I could make a career of. And realized that a job that I invested a lot of time in earlier, did not do much to help me figure those things out. Because of all this, my Finding Yoda challenge around that time started to take on a very specific and practical goal. Through those interviews and conversation with people, I was aiming to discovering what it is like working in a specific industry, what skills are required, and I was also aiming to obtaining connections so I can find job openings or internship opportunities. And opportunities soon came along. One day I was scheduled to interview a department director at a well-known advertising agency. Before I came in, I did my research on the company and I found out that they had a really good internship program. But the application deadline for the upcoming internship had already passed for almost 2 weeks. Anyways, I had a great conversation with that director. He was very passionate about advertising. He was also really intelligent. So I got very excited about this all new possibility of working in advertising, perhaps as a new career. So we started to discuss practical steps I can take to get my foot in there. And I voiced my disappointment that I missed the application for their internship program. And the director said, "Well, you have surely missed the deadline. I'm not the person who is in charge of the internship program, but I think we can still ask. They might still be willing to accept late submission. If they're not willing to, I can point you to other resources across the nation." So I sent him my resume and he said he would go ask for me, which was a relief for me because I never found asking an easy task. Within a day, I got an email from the internship office who told me that my application had been accepted and I was entered into the second round of the selection process for the internship program. I felt really happy and lucky and flattered at first. But when I look closer at the internship dates, I started to panic. As an international student, I'm only allowed to work in the US legally for about a year after graduation. And as it turned out, my visa, my work authorization period would actually end a month before the end date of the 3 months internship. My first thought was, how can I be this stupid? I thought myself as educated and smart. Well, in fact, I cannot even figure out dates. And my second reaction was, there is no way they're going to let me do this internship if I can only be here for 2 months. Of course, they're not gonna accept me into the program. So I accepted my fate. I replied them back, thank you for choosing me, but there's some mix up with my visa dates. I think it's the best if I turn down the offer. So I declined the invitation. I thought the story would end then. A few days later, I was telling a friend how I had this great opportunity, but I had to turn it down because of my visa timeline. To my surprise, my friend was not sympathetic at all. After hearing about my experience, he said, the way I see it, if you really want this internship, you still have a shot, and you should go for it. And I asked, how? He said, well, you can, instead of just turning down your offer, you can ask them if they are willing to work with your timeline. But I said, I already turned down the offer, I can't ask again. And he said, of course you can, just tell them you really want this internship and ask them if they're willing to work with it. Maybe they can treat you a month early than everyone else. And I started to panic again. I can't ask them again. I said I can't ask them for another exception. They already made an exception when they accepted my late submission. What are they going to think? I can't make them go through. I can't make people in those offices go through extra work because of me. I don't want to trouble them. And my friend said, well, they have the power and freedom to say yes or no. If they don't want to do it, they will tell you no. But they might be okay with it, and then you will get the internship. I went quiet for a few minutes, and I started to think about what my friend said. Part of me was really resisting against this idea. What are they going to think of me if I keep asking them for exceptions? If I keep saying that I want this, are they going to think of me as desperate? Or are they going to think of me as someone who's way too full of myself, even when I'm just a college grad who no one cares about? Are they going to say no? Are they going to complain about me? Are they going to complain about me in their office? And an image of the email which the director sent me a few days earlier popped into my head. After my visa mixed up whole thing, I sent him an email. I told him thank you, and then I also apologized for him for having him going through unnecessary trouble, while in fact I can't even take on this internship opportunity. In his reply, he assured me that I did not cause any trouble, and he also said in the end of the email that he hoped I would learn from this experience. when he hoped that I would remember when things don't seem to work out, I might always as well ask because I never know what will happen. I never know what people will say. Around as I was thinking about those words, my brain started to change focus. I started to think about the the exciting possibility that I might have if I get this internship. I was thinking about a team of driven young people who are fellow interns, supportive and intelligent mentors, a completely new career path, and a lot of new things to learn, new things to explore, a passionate work. It's exciting, and I was really it's so full of possibility and room for growth that I was really craving for it. As I started to really picture the exciting future that I might have, the risk of rejection seemed very petty and very small. Yes, people might complain, yes, they might say no, but if my end goal is this great, then the risks will be totally worth it. After I made my decision, my friend helped me to write up the email and I sent it back to the internship office. I wrote, I really value this opportunity. I believe I have the capacity to make the best out of it. I believe I can learn a lot from it. Would you be willing to reconsider me as a candidate for your internship program? Within a day, they replied back, we have to talk to our HR to look deeper into your visa issue and we will reply back. Another day passed and a couple of emails back and forth. They finally replied, yes, we are willing to work with your visa status. Yes, we're willing to work with your timeline. We have re-entered you into the selection process. Let us know your availability so we can schedule you an interview. I ended up not getting that internship. I made through the second round, I didn't make through the last round. But it was such a great learning experience for me. I felt as if growing a thicker skin around asking for help in general after this experience. Now, for example, if I feel lonely, instead of locking myself in my bedroom and watching Netflix for hours, I would take out my phone and ask my friend if I can come over and stay with them. When I lost my apartment, as another example, a few months ago, instead of feeling stressed out, instead of feeling isolated and getting stressed out, I started to reach out to different friends and see if any of them are willing to share their space with me. And I was amazed by how much support those people around me were willing to give me after I asked for it. I mean, of course, there were occasional, for all the asking, there were occasional no here and there. But I feel like right now, as I'm more comfortable with asking, my life has in general been much more support. I feel much more supported and connected than I had never been before. I had a mentor who used to say that human interaction is a lot like um, it's a lot like a game. You you have a goal. You have to take a ball somewhere. But sometimes you shoot for it, you miss it, and then you just pick up the ball and then you keep going. You cannot focus on not you cannot focus on not guiding it. You can only focus on your goal and do make the best out of it. And I think connection, I think asking for help, asking for support, and connection in general has a lot of similarities to that. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you find it useful, and my final words would be take risks when they are worth it.